The mirror room. I never believed the stories my aunt told me when I was little. Tales of haunted mirrors, shadowy reflections, and whispers in the dark felt like bedtime scares meant to keep me in line. But now I know better. When she passed, she left me her old Victorian house. I moved in reluctantly. It was big, lonely, and smelled of mildew and time. But it was mine now, and I couldn't afford to refuse. The first few nights were uneventful. Just the usual creaks and groans of an old house settling. But on the third night, I noticed something strange. A mirror in the hallway near the attic door seemed to be fogged up from the inside. I wiped it with my sleeve, but the smudge didn't budge. It wasn't until I leaned closer that I saw it. A handprint, pressed against the glass, from the inside. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I forced myself to explore the house more thoroughly. That's when I found it. A door hidden behind a heavy armoire in the attic. It was smaller than the others, with rusted hinges and a faded engraving of a crescent moon on the wood. The moment I opened it, a gust of cold air rushed out, and with it came the faintest sound, like distant laughter. The door led to a narrow staircase, spiraling down into darkness. I didn't want to go, but something pulled me forward. My phone's flashlight barely illuminated the steps, but I kept going. Each creak of the wood under my feet sounding like a scream in the silence. At the bottom was a room. It was windowless, the walls covered entirely in mismatched mirrors. Some were cracked, others foggy, their frames ornate and old. The air smelled damp, and the faint metallic tang of blood lingered. In the center of the room stood a stool, facing the largest mirror. A massive, cracked monstrosity with a frame carved in writhing shapes that almost looked alive. On the stool was a single note, written in spidery handwriting. "Sit down. Look closely." I didn't want to. Every instinct screamed at me to run. But something about the room was magnetic, like it was waiting for me. Against my better judgment, I sat on the stool and faced the mirror. At first, my reflection stared back, pale and wide-eyed. But then, it smiled. I wasn't smiling. The reflection leaned forward, tilting its head unnaturally, the smile stretching far too wide. It mouthed something, but no sound came through. I wanted to leave. I tried to stand, but my body wouldn't move. The reflection's lips moved again, and this time I understood. "Come closer." Before I could react, the glass rippled like water. A hand, pale, bony, and wrong, pushed through, its nails scraping the stool as it reached for me. I screamed, trying to pull away, but the hand grabbed my arm, its grip like frozen iron. "Stay," it hissed. The voice was mine, but distorted, layered with something guttural and ancient. I yanked my arm free, falling off the stool. The mirrors around me began to warp, the reflections shifting into twisted versions of myself. Eyes too large, mouths open in silent screams. I scrambled up the stairs, slamming the door behind me. But it didn't matter. The mirrors followed me. Now every mirror in the house shows her. Sometimes she's standing just behind me. Sometimes she's closer. I've smashed them, thrown them out, but new ones appear. On walls, in puddles, even in my phone's screen. She's always there, watching, smiling, waiting. And every night I hear her voice echoing through the house, soft and teasing. "Come closer. It's your turn now."